Hey everybody, it's Monday night. It's Always Bookin Comedy. I'm Mark Masters here with Rob Coleman. How are you, bud?
Hey,
All
I'm
right.
doing well.
Always
I'm doing well. How are you?
good, man. Good, man. Cleveland, Ohio, huh?
Yes, yes,
How did I
sir.
find out about you? Was it the Shawshank guy or was it Jeff Shaw? I know a
I
couple people from
know both of them, but I think it was Pete George, the Shawshank guy.
yeah, there we go. Pete George. Yeah. Good
Yeah, the
episode.
rock and
Nobody's
roll rock star.
yeah, guitar player, right? Yeah.
Yep, you got it.
Are you in Ohio now or are you on the road?
Nope, I'm actually sitting outside a place where I host trivia on Monday nights.
There
You
you go.
know,
That's
as a
fun.
comedian, it's kind of a little side hustle
Yeah,
that's
of
good
course.
for comics. Find a trivia night. It's good to help you make ends meet.
Yeah, of course. You got a good trivia question for me?
Because we're doing St. Patrick's Day. So March
Okay.
17th is celebrated for St. Patrick's Day to commemorate St. Patrick's birth, death, when he came to Ireland, or when he found the pot of gold. Multiple choice.
Okay.
March 17th commemorates his death,
I'm gonna go with
birth.
death.
You got it. You would have got
Oh, yes.
5 points for trivia.
All right. Amazing. Amazing. That's great. So did you start comedy in Cleveland?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I started
Okay.
in 2002 as a way to actually try to sell insurance policies. I was an insurance agent at the time, and my manager said find ways to talk to people, and I was like, "Hey, comedy is a way to talk to people."
Okay. That's fun.
the
Uh, so what was the comedy scene like then, early 2000s? Is it very different from today?
Kind of, sort of, because it was kind of split. Cleveland is a city that has a east and a west side. The east side is more urban, the west side is more, Caucasian and, people like that. So there was not a lot of places that mixed the two sides of the town.
Got it.
And Robin's Nest was one of the few places that comics from both the east and the west side would come to do comedy together. And
Oh,
that's where I got my start at. So
nice. Nice. You had
yeah,
fingers on both sides. I think Cleveland is a beautiful city, by the way. I've only been there
it absolutely
once
is. Yeah.
and I was really impressed. I went to the downtown library. It's one of the prettiest libraries in America. It's incredible.
Yeah, yeah, it's huge, it's massive. Yep.
Yeah.
Our art museum, our classical musical stadium, like we have a lot of like really nice hidden gems here in Cleveland.
Yeah, totally. Rock and Roll Museum.
The
Uh,
Rock and Roll Museum, yeah,
yeah,
our history museum is amazing. Yeah.
nice. So you get started at the Robin's Nest.
hmm
Where'd you go from there? What was your first road gig? When did you first leave Ohio to do some comedy?
my story in comedy is like really sort of, kind of eclectic, because I was all over the place when I started. Well, like I said, it was for fun. It wasn't really my primary thing because I had a good job.
Okay.
So when people would say, "Hey, let's go on the road together," I'm like, "The road? I
Mm.
have a job." I was a weekend warrior, you know what I mean? Where I
Okay.
would just go out on the weekends and do stuff here and there. But the first one I can remember, some older school kind of urban legends here, Rob Allen and Courtney G, Cool TLC. We would go down to like Columbus or Toledo and places like that and do shows here and there, like showcases. But I didn't do a ton of those, just here and there.
Okay. What was it like quitting? I assume you don't still sell insurance. Is that true?
I was really, really bad at it.
Yeah,
I did not
so
sell one insurance policy because of comedy. You know what I mean?
okay,
And
okay.
I ended up getting fired like literally a month after I started doing comedy. So
Oh, geez, that was quick. Okay, so it wasn't a hard
no,
decision to leave. Okay.
it wasn't a hard decision at all. I did
Oh,
stay in sales. I got into the mortgage industry, but
okay.
yeah, insurance wasn't for me.
Okay, got it. What's your favorite market outside of Cleveland around the country?
Um, I've been going to Indiana a lot, Indianapolis.
Okay. I've
That's
never
been
been.
kind of fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they have
actually
I think one of their clubs is closing. Is that true? Maybe?
uh
Maybe I'm making
I
that up.
think
Maybe I'm
that
thinking of
maybe, I don't know.
Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville, I think is the one you're thinking of.
Okay.
Um, but Yeah, I have a ball there. I got a booker there that sets me up with some nice gigs that I met at World Series, and every now and then he calls me and gives me some nice stuff. It's not a killer drive, like maybe 5 hours. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. Is that
Hmm.
Booker's name start with a J?
No, with an I actually.
Okay, I don't know that one. We can talk later about it. Let's see. What else should I ask you? I don't know. You've been doing this a long time, man. You must have a lot of
Mhm.
wisdom. Well, if you could go back and talk to yourself when you were getting started, what would you tell you? Is there any advice you'd give yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. The same advice I was given when I started. Uh, a lot of the people, their primary thing that they wanted to do was get on stage at the improv, right? The
Okay.
improv was like the one stage that all of the East Side comics wanted to do. You know what I
Right.
mean? And we used to have an audition time during the afternoon where on certain days of the week, the booker would have people come down and audition, and everybody would go down there and audition and try to get on. Um, that's really where I started to kind of see what other comics aspiration was. And as far as the advice I would give myself is the same advice. His name was Lee Harlan's. Lee gave me the advice, be ready to quit your job, you know, work until you can't work anymore, but be ready to, quit your job. And it's a short sentence, it's really simple, but it has a lot of nuances. Quitting your job means if you have health care, or if you're a one income household, or if you have small kids, all of that stuff makes a difference. You know what I mean? So if you start getting good at comedy really quick, make sure your household is financially secure before you quit your job. That's like really one of the first things that I would kind of advice I would give myself.
Okay. So
Unless you get fired.
sure, sure, sure. But you're saying basically you're saying hang on to your day job a little longer than you think. Is that
Yeah.
the advice you're given? Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I actually got fired. Not fired, but downsized in
Sure.
2023, and decided to pursue comedy full time. I could have went to another job, but I was financially secure. You know what I mean?
Right.
I stuck onto my job as long as I could, and after they downsized me, I was like, okay, I got a nice severance. My wife has a pretty good job. And my kids are grown. Let me see if I could do this full time. So it was kind of like perfect timing.
Nice. You got any road tricks? Any
Well, my biggest thing last year was winning World Series of Comedy, which is a national competition where a lot of comedians compete in. And if you haven't heard about it, or if you're a comedian, listen to this. I would highly recommend trying it, because it almost is like testing whether or not you're ready to pursue comedy. You go to
mm,
different clubs in different cities, you get on those stages, you compete in front of like audiences, in front of like big clubs, and it's almost like auditioning for those individual bookers as well. So, as far as road tricks, I would say enter a contest and um kind of see how you compare to other comedians regionally or nationally. That way you can kind of see how good you are. Like I guarantee you most regional comics have a lot of jokes in their set that only people from Cleveland would understand, or only people from their city would understand, or
true.
you know what I mean. Like if I do a jubilee, hey, east side of Cleveland is crazy, ain't it? And it's
Yeah,
like, well, we don't know, we're not from
right.
Cleveland, you know what I mean? So yeah, go get in some contests, go enter some festivals, and see what other comics are talking about, and get out of your city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's smart. That's good.
Hmm.
I remember the first time I went to New York City, I paid to do an open mic, and I had this joke where I said King Supers, which is a regional grocery store in
Yeah,
in Denver. And as I was saying the words, I was like, "Hey, they're not going to know what King Supers is, probably." And I said it, and nobody
yeah,
knew. And that
yeah,
was like a hard introduction to jokes traveling.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. I had a joke that I use about Cheesecake Factory, and I didn't know Cheesecake Factory is not like all over the country.
Oh,
A
I didn't
friend
know
of mine
that
told me,
either.
yeah, I didn't know. I was like, Cheesecake Factory is not national. And it was like, no, some places you might say Cheesecake Factory, they don't know what you're talking about. So
Interesting. Huh.
yeah.
That's why. Was it about how big the menu was?
No, it was actually a joke that I do about me getting a slice of cheesecake and my wife finding it in the refrigerator before I had a chance to finish it. And go to my YouTube page, you'll see me
Oh,
doing the joke.
okay. Is it YouTube slash Rob Coleman for folks
I
watching?
think I think all of my socials is under Are You Funny Rob? The letter
Okay,
R, the letter U, Funny Rob. Are You Funny Rob? And
nice.
that's on YouTube, IG, TikTok. I'm not on X,
Okay.
and all of that other stuff that's out there, Pinterest, and I don't even get on the other stuff.
Yeah,
So
nice. Are you funny, Rob? Letter R, letter
yeah,
U, funny Rob. Track that
yeah,
down. You had
yeah,
a big year last year, huh?
yeah. Winning World Series of Comedy was like pretty major and unexpected. You know, when you enter into that contest, literally hundreds of comics enter to compete, and 100 comics go to Las Vegas to compete for the championship, plus
Mhm.
wildcard comics. And there's probably 150, 170 comics there. And to come out on top after a year worth of contest and then competing against all of the best comics that year in the contest is like amazing. It really,
That's
it really is a great feeling.
congratulations. Have
Yeah,
you been
yeah.
able to leverage that into anything specific, like club dates or?
That's the thing. The World Series gives guarantees you work with the clubs that host the satellites. So
Okay,
I've gotten work from pretty much the majority of the clubs that hosted the satellites. There's
nice.
10 or 12 like satellites annually, and I've
Mhm.
gotten work from like maybe 8 of them, you know what I
Awesome.
mean? But some of them are just hard to travel to because I'm in Cleveland, you know what I mean? It's hard to
Mm,
for me to get to Tacoma, or you know what I mean, because
yeah,
it's national. So the ones that I can get to though I've gotten to. So it's been a
nice.
lot of fun and very eye-opening as far as like what's required expense wise and travel wise, and you know this is show business, and the business part is very much something I need to learn better.
Huh. What are some of the lessons you've learned recently?
Just about what I should be charging. I mean, that's the biggest thing pretty much, because me being so well known in Cleveland, I get calls all the time from guys, "Hey Rob, we're doing a 10 comic showcase, and everybody's getting $25, come out and do this on Saturday." And it's like, "Are you serious? I just won World Series of Comedy. I need to be make it about, $500 a show, right? I mean, to support myself. This is like my
Yeah,
livelihood now. I can't really do showcases anymore. And that's the hard part. It's like I'm telling friends that want me to rock with them like I used to before, come out and do the show. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. I need to leave that weekend open in case of improv or hilarities or funny bone calls. You know what I mean? I need to be open to actually make some decent money.
yeah, 100%. It's such a difficult thing because then if you get offered, with the numbers you threw out, which could be fictitious, somebody offers you $350. It's like, do you take that gig? And in the second you do, like a day later, somebody's going to offer you 1,200. It
Yeah.
happens every time.
Yeah. The thing with me, I'm a very loyal person. If I tell you I'm gonna do a gig, I'm gonna do it.
That's
And I
good,
actually
man.
just shot myself in the foot recently because I got a gig coming up on the 18th that I'm kind of doing as a favor for
Mhm.
somebody. And I literally just got called from a club that wants me for a week, but it's like Tuesday through Saturday. And
Yeah,
I'm already booked that Saturday. So I'm literally turning down probably $800 to get $200. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So that's the thing that I need to get better at. Some gigs I just may need to cancel. Yeah, I know I'm on the flyer. I know the gig is in 2 weeks, but you
yeah.
know,
That's that's a tough thing. I worry about that too. I'm very loyal. I always say I'm gonna do the show. Occasionally I'll call somebody and I'll say,
hmm
"Hey, headline is I'm doing your show. I told you I'm doing the show. I'm gonna be there. But let me tell you what's going on. I got this other offer, whatever. I can find somebody to replace me, and sometimes people are like, yeah, no problem, go. And other times people are like, it would be a pain for us if you didn't do the show. So
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
You just honor it.
I burnt a couple of bridges like that. Not many, because like I said, I'm pretty loyal. But every now and then I get something that's like, you know, scheduling
You can't
mishaps or
say
something
no.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
learning.
You gotta always be learning. Always be
Yeah.
learning. Tell me,
Yeah.
do you write like in a notebook or anything? You got a writing process?
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's what I'm kind of known for here in Cleveland because after COVID was over, I started doing comedy workshops, like writing workshops.
Okay.
Because over COVID, I used to just read a lot of comedy books, Comedy Bible and like several others. I got a whole library of comedy books. And I was like, you know what? There's a common thread across all these books that I feel like I could at least show comics the beginnings of writing, right? So I started doing a beginner's writing workshop that I call my 5 pillars of comedy. Basically, 5 basic things as a comedian that you have to know something about to be a decent comedian, right?
Okay.
And when people I don't charge a lot for it. I charge like $25. I do one-on-one sessions. But I just want to see comics get better. And I see
Yeah.
so many comics that know how to write a premise, but they don't know how to connect a punchline, or they don't know how to freak a punchline to make it more, they give it more body or tags or rule of three or all of those different things that make a punchline hit harder, right?
Mhm.
So that's a lot of what I talk about in my workshop. So to answer I know that's a long way to answer your question, but absolutely right. I love it. I actually want to get into that. So if anybody's out there that needs a writer, let me know. I'll join your team and see if we can get this going.
Nice. Are you talking about like TV writing, or are you talking about like writing for somebody else's act?
My dream is to be in a writing room for some place like the Daily Show or Conan or Jimmy Kimmel, something like that. I would love to be in that writing room, just to see if I can hang with those guys.
Yeah.
Because I know a few guys that have been in those rooms, and they're like, Rob, you got to write 50 jokes a day sometimes, and they may or may not use any of them. Right?
Mm.
They may use one, they may use three, they may not use any of them. But you
Yeah.
got to constantly keep writing jokes, and I want to try that. I want to see if I could do that. I'm
Yeah.
on Facebook groups where they do challenges to write a joke a day, and I try to write, based on those challenges sometimes. I mean, it's fun to me.
Yeah. That's cool. Do you
Hmm.
can you give us one trick from your or secret from your workshop?
Um, I would say, replacing one trick that I talk about is when you're doing a misdirection joke, be prepared to replace the who, what, when, where, and why of a statement, right? So if you say, I'm great at karate, right? People will be like, oh, wow, did he go to a karate school or whatever? And then you say, I've seen all of Jackie Chan's movies, right? And it's like,
No.
oh, he didn't take karate classes. He's just been watching. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
you think about the statement you make and what the crowd is thinking, and then you come back with something completely different. I am great at karate. Those 10-year-olds that I'm up against never know what hit them, right? Like, because they think you are fighting somebody your size, and it's like, yeah, those kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So misdirection jokes are great when you replace the who, what, when, where, and why of a statement that's leading somebody to think something.
That's awesome. If you had an
Mhm.
hour, how many ends to "I'm great at karate" do you think you could come up with?
If I had an hour, I could probably write 30, 40. You know what I
Nice.
mean?
I love that.
Because I'm really good at I'll think about the place where we're doing karate, then I'll think about who we're doing karate against,
Mhm.
then I'll think about, maybe uh the timing, you know what I mean, or something like that. I was great at karate, or maybe change like the time or something like that. But yeah, I absolutely think I could come up with a ton.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm great at karate because I love collecting belts.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, huh. Yeah, that's fun. That's a good little, challenge. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's
All
fun.
right.
I do stuff like that in my workshop all the time.
Yeah. Have you, done one of these clubs yet that you booked the work from your championship win?
Yeah,
Or are
I
they all in the
actually
future?
have done like several. Crackpots Comedy Club is like my home club. They headlined me as soon as I got back. I've done Funny Farm. I've done um, the one in Sacramento, Laughs Unlimited. The beginning of April, I'm going down to Florida to do Laugh Out Lounge. That following month, I'm doing Comedy Catch, McCurdy's in May, LA Comedy
Oh, no
Club also in
way. Are you doing a
May.
whole weekend at McCurdy's?
Yeah, yeah.
That is awesome. They do such a
Yeah,
great
so
job there, packing that place
yeah,
out.
yeah, exactly.
Do
So
you
I'm
sell
really looking
merch?
forward to that. I try. I just got bracelets. You
Okay.
know, um, I need to get some T-shirts or something that sells a little bit better. But
Okay.
my bracelets is really all that I have right now.
I like stickers. T-shirts they're a hassle, man. You got
I know,
they're
right?
too bulky. People don't like the sizes you got or the colors. I mean, if you're gonna do
Hmm.
T-shirts, do the nice ones. Nobody wants a cheap T-shirt. I
Okay.
think stickers are great. They're very, they cost about a quarter a piece. You sell them for
Hmm.
$5. The markup is
Hmm.
incredible.
Hmm.
And, they're probably similar. Your bracelet probably has some word on it or phrase. And you just
But yeah, my
convert.
website and like a punchline to one of my jokes. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So you make a little bit, you get somebody to do some art and then you get the sticker printed. You put 500 of them in, a backpack pocket. So,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, this is now turning into an advertisement for stickermule.com, everybody. That's what I use. Promo
Nice.
code Mark at stickermule.
Oh,
And
nice.
honestly, if you sign up for Sticker Mule, what you do is you just wait for they send out like a special like every couple of weeks, and
Hmm.
then you wait for the custom cut stickers to go on special, and then you just order them from like 3 different email addresses, and you're all
Oh,
set
very cool.
for a quarter, like a three
Okay.
month period, and then you do it again.
All right.
Another
Perfect.
trick to selling merch is be able to take credit cards. The second I started taking credit cards, my sales doubled.
Serious. Wow.
Yeah,
Great tip.
huge change. A lot of
Great
people
tip.
just do like, what's that?
I said that's a great tip.
Yeah, yeah, it is. A lot of people just do like cash, Venmo, Zelle kind of thing, Cash App maybe, or PayPal. But the second you do the credit card, the first night I sold credit cards, some guy came over. He was kind of inebriated, and he paid with his watch. He just like
Mm.
tapped it and
Hmm.
bought, and it took like 6 seconds. And I guarantee you, if I even to reach into his wallet was too much effort.
Mm.
He would have gotten distracted and gone somewhere else. So
I see. Yeah.
yeah,
Did he do you use Square or like
I
who
use
do you have?
Square. Yeah, and I
Okay.
have one of those. When you go to like a restaurant and they hand you the terminal thing.
Hmm.
So like I bought one of those. They're kind of expensive, 200-300 bucks, but it's awesome. Because you can have all your products in it. You just tap,
Nice.
da, 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 and it says like $50. You hand it over, and they can tap, they can insert, they can swipe. Um,
Nice.
yeah, it's
Okay.
great.
All right. I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, it's really good. You can do it with your phone. You don't need to buy the hardware.
Hmm.
Like any modern smartphone, you can just tap a credit card to the back of it. But the problem with that
Hmm.
is, like, a lot of times you need your phone. Somebody's trying to
Hmm.
call you, you're trying to text somebody or email or
Ah, yeah,
whatever. And
facts.
so if you're using it, or you have somebody else running your merch table, you know,
Hmm.
you don't want to give them your cell phone unlocked necessarily.
Hmm.
Um, so I think having the separate device is pretty helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show
Um,
business. It is
business.
show
It's
business, right? Yeah.
all about business, man. All about business. You do any sketch stuff or film stuff? Any commercials?
No commercials. I was part of a sketch group during COVID called Eargasm Comedy. And if you look really hard, you can find some of those skits online. But they're horrible, terrible, just stuff we were, a bunch of people trying to waste time during COVID and just filming
Sure.
stupid stuff.
Sure.
But for the most part, we did do a good job with some of the online comedy shows. So we did like several online comedy contests that actually turned out really well. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So that was kind of cool. But no, I don't really do a ton online. So
What What's one of your favorite topics to talk about on stage?
I'm middle-aged guy, right? So, my stuff is marriage and kids and, growing up, a lot of typical stuff that you'll hear, Gen Xers talk about, we were tough kids or we were latchkey kids or, it's hard to kind of find unique ways to say that because
Mhm.
so many comics, dive into that nostalgia of come home before the street lights, and we had Saturday morning cartoons, and the TV cut off at 1 o'clock in the morning. We didn't have TV all night. Like all of that stuff is stuff you've heard comics say a million times. But that's my generation. So the challenge is to find unique ways to talk about it that people haven't heard before,
Hmm.
and I just come from my point of view. I tell comics a lot because comics will hear a joke and be like, oh, I can't do a joke about that anymore because Dave Chappelle or such and such or whatever did a joke about it. And I'm like, no, you can still use the premise as long as the punchline comes from your own point of view. You can't use the same punchline, of course,
Yeah.
but Eddie Murphy did a joke about Aunt Bunny falling down the stairs, and Kevin Hart did a joke about his grandfather falling. They're the same premise, like somebody old in my family fell, but they both delivered a joke completely different. Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy, my shoe, and Kevin Hart was, don't old people fall like really slow? You just push them over. Like it's the same premise, but they're different deliveries, different types of jokes. So if you want to write a joke about your relative falling, come from a different point of view. You know what I
Sure.
mean? And it's not joke stealing; it's telling a story from your point of view.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Uh, so what are you looking forward to this year?
Um, I actually am waiting. There's two things I would like to happen this year. I would love to do a cruise ship at some point. So I
Okay.
have some contacts that I've been reaching out to try to get on a cruise ship, and I would love, love, love to shoot a dry bar special. I'm
Okay.
actually scheduled to do an open bar special, which is kind of similar to dry bar.
Yep.
I'm booked to do that in October, but I would love, love, love to do a dry bar special just so people know I can work clean.
Did you send
Um,
a tape in already? Have you?
a while ago, I
Yeah.
haven't. I've been recording some clean sets to try to um develop a library where if I
Yeah.
send you one tape and you click on it, you can see three more
Okay.
that I can work clean, right? So I just about got it ready where I'm ready to kind of send it over again. But
Okay.
before when I sent it, I really didn't have enough material, you know what I mean, to be considered, I think. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna start winding this down. Unfortunately, it's been really fun talking to you. How can people find you? Where should they go see you on the road?
oh, sure. Well, I try to post my schedule pretty regularly at the beginning of the month on all my socials. So if you follow me at Are You Funny Rob, the letter R, the letter U, Funny Rob, you typically could see me and my stuff I got upcoming. Follow me on my I'm most active probably on my Instagram and on my Facebook.
Oh,
But you can follow me on YouTube. I'm actually gonna start producing a short series called How I Won the World Series of Comedy, and I'm gonna do
oh,
a series
cool.
of short videos giving advice. And just let people know. Just real quick, because I know we only got a minute left.
Sure.
Uh, Cleveland honored me with Comedian of the Year for last year. And a lot of comics came up to me afterwards and congratulated me on World Series. And I kind of want to give them that knowledge. Hey, here's how you could do well at World Series too. So look for me to
Yeah.
start producing that series and letting people know here's my quote unquote secrets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's amazing. We got a comment from North Carolina. Somebody's gonna check out that material and saying thanks for today.
Mm,
Let's see, we got
excellent. Thank you.
1 minute. 1 minute left. Let's go with let's try and find some more karate punchlines. Let's see if we can get one more each. I'm great at karate.
as, as long as it's what's the thing? What's the one karate where they move real slow? The
Oh, I don't know.
Tai Chi. I'm great at karate as long as it's Tai Chi, right?
There you go. I'm great at karate as long as it's Tai Chi. I love it. I love it. I'm the karate turtle, the tortoise. I'm
There
great
you go,
tortoise.
right?
All right, that's gonna wrap us up. Rob, you're the best. Rob Coleman. Stick around for a little bit. Everybody check him out. Letter R, letter U, funny on all the platforms.
Are You Funny,
And
Rob?
sorry, Are You Funny, Rob? Are
You
You
got it.
Funny, ROB, on all the platforms. And look for his new series coming out, How He Won the World Series of Comedy. Cleveland's Comedian of the Year, Rob Coleman. We'll see everybody next time. Thanks for sticking around.